Hey guys, welcome back. So I'm warning you, my brain isn't working well today. I'm kind of out of it, but I don't even know what I'm going to call this video. I'm trying to find the right words to describe what exactly I'm trying to say with this. I feel like there's a better word out there or a more specific word. But basically, today's video will be about what things happen in our life or things that we might identify ourselves as, things that become so tied to us that we don't think about praying about them, if that makes any sense. And it's going to make more sense once I start explaining my example. Basically, sometimes I feel like we go through things or we might be suffering through something and we get so used to it, or it's been a part of us for so long that we don't even think about praying for it or about the situation, or whether it's an illness that you just had forever and you kind of like, oh, well, it's just a part of me. Because I came to this realization myself I think it was really just a couple of weeks ago I really started to realize it. And, I've talked to you about the different things I've gone through health-wise. Primarily the social anxiety that I've had since I was a very little girl. And I'm talking like elementary school. I can't even remember how young. I just know that I've dealt with it a very long time. And it kind of just became a part of me in a sense. Like, I kind of just built the social anxiety into my personality. Like, oh, it's just who I am. I have social anxiety, It's because I can't really remember being any different. I know there was a point where I was very little and it was very easy for me to just run around with other little kids. But at some point, something changed. And I was still very young when it changed. And so I feel like I identify myself as just having it, and that's just all there is to it. And I don't remember which video I was filming, but I kind of started thinking a little more about it. And then there's that song, Break Every Chain. Is that the actual title of it? Break Every Chain, Break Every Chain. That song. And I was thinking, well, I know of some things in my life that have held me back from, living out God's plan for my life, some other things. But like, that's like a really big one, the social anxiety. And it's something I've dealt with for so long. But like, if I had to really pick one thing that's really been holding me back from doing what I feel like I need to be doing, living for God, it's going to be the social anxiety. And I just kind of started thinking about it in a different way, because it's almost like a chain that, yes, needs to be broken. And I started praying, and I was actually doing one of my prayer times. I was talking to God about this kind of similar thing, and I think he was the one that just reminded me, you have this, and I can't help you get through it. Because as crazy as this sounds, I really can't recall a time where I ever prayed about my social anxiety. And I know that probably sounds kind of crazy, but the only thing I can think of is that I've just self-identified myself as having it. It's just a part of me, and I kind of just accepted it, I guess. And kind of got me thinking, like, how many other things do we do that with? Or, what is there something in your life or a situation you've kind of just gotten used to being in, or an illness you've had for a very long time? It can be mental illness, an anxiety or depression, physical illness, where you just haven't even tried talking to God about it because you honestly just didn't even think to. You were just like, well, that's who I am. It's a part of me. And, it's just really sad that we can even let things become that, I guess. We should never try to identify ourselves as those things. They set limitations on us and prevent us from doing, what we're called to do. And so I was just talking to God and I was like, wow, I've never asked your help on this before. This is just an issue I have struggled with for literally nearly my entire life. And I've never even come to you about it. And so I started talking to him more about it and, really praying over it, praying that God would break that chain for me. That's kind of how I've been viewing it in my mind, as something that's holding me back, holding me down from being able to really go out and live life for him. And since I started praying about it, it, I can't say, okay, so the way my social anxiety kind of works is that I am not good at conversing with people. I get stuck in when I'm conversing with someone, I just get stuck. And I'm like, well, what do I say next? Or what's okay to say next? I start overthinking things a lot and I start feeling very awkward. Even though I want to talk to the person, I just have no idea how to keep the conversation going. Unless they're super extroverted and they're just talking. That's great. Because I love playing more of the listener role. Honestly, just listening and, I'll give my advice if they need it or if they ask. I'm not very good at jumping into discussion either. If I'm in a group of people, you're pretty much never going to hear me jump out and just start talking or saying my opinion. I can talk to my phone very easily, or I can't actually even get up on stage and talk to people. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have an anxiety of being in front of a lot of people, but it's more so just the conversing aspect or me jumping out into a group setting and saying something. So I know it's hard to explain, but that's really where my issue is. And before, I used to get very, very nervous. Sometimes when I would go into a new setting with people and my heart would be beating, and sometimes I would just almost want to call it off. Sometimes I have called things off because of my social anxiety. I just couldn't hack it. It didn't always used to be that bad, but anyway, getting to, I started praying and really talking to God about it and being like, please break this chain for me, Lord. Help me to get through it so that I can do what I need to do for you. And since then, I have found that it's like that negative nervousness transitioned into this positive excitedness feeling. So instead of my heart pounding and me being I feel like I'm gonna throw up, I don't want to go meet these people, I've been really excited about it. I still feel awkward when I'm talking to people. That hasn't changed. That's more of a social skill that I'm just gonna have to try to figure out, I think. Really, I just need to stop overanalyzing everything that is said or what I think I should say. But it's there's just been this shift in how I'm really feeling internally about the situation. We just signed up for life groups at church, and we signed up for a few. That was largely me. Jonathan's like, what are you doing? Because it's I have, even though I have social anxiety, I do have this longing inside of me to connect with people. I always have. It's just always freaked me out, and my anxiety oftentimes would win, and I wouldn't do things. I wouldn't join in on groups, that kind of thing. And God really shifted how I was feeling internally to being so excited about it. And it's, I know it might be hard for you to understand if you don't deal with it, but I'm trying to express to you guys how big of a deal that really is. Because I went from feeling so nervous, sometimes I would literally call off plans with people because my social anxiety would be so bad. I was like, I just can't do it, to being excited to go. Yeah, I might feel awkward while I'm trying to converse or saying things, but I'm genuinely excited to be a part of it and to do it. And that is just such a blessing. So I guess I'm hoping that you guys might see or start to think about, is there something in your life that you've just gotten used to, really? And maybe it's just been a part of your life for so long, so many years, that you haven't even really talked to God about it, because He does want to help you through those things. I know that there are situations that we will pray about for a very long time, and we'll feel like nothing is happening in those. Um, and I think what's important in those situations is for us to realize sometimes our will isn't God's will. And we're not always going to understand His will and what He has planned. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that we just don't know. And that's just where faith and trust, really comes into play. So if you're in one of those situations where you have been fervently praying for something, just keep hanging on to Him. You don't want to let go. Things will only get worse. Keep hanging on to Him, having that faith and trusting in Him. Okay? That's just what I can give you if you're in that situation. Otherwise, I just really challenge you guys to think about any area of your life that maybe you just haven't prayed about. A situation that could become substantially better or really help you with something in some area that you just never thought to even pray about. So just think about that, and I hope that, God renews your mind and that you experience something amazing through it, because I know it can be hard to understand the social anxiety aspect if you haven't gone through it, but y'all, it has made such a difference. Like, I wish, it's just been amazing to have that kind of energy converted from the negative to the positive. Uh, I just don't want that for you. So that's what I had to talk about today. I hope you guys have an awesome week. I will see you in the next video.